What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. MLB DFS video. It is Thursday. It is April 25th, and we are back with another video. Now, I put a video out for Wednesday. I filmed it, I posted it, uploaded it. It was like 35 to 40 minute long video, broke everything down. Then when I started to listen to it, the audio was really weird and it was fast, and then it skipped. And then I noticed it was only 18 minutes long. I have no idea how the file got corrupted, but it did. So we didn't have a video yesterday because I didn't have time to film another 30 to 45 minute video. I hope this one goes out and all the audio is fine. We will see, but I hope it is. That being said, we are back with another full video. If you have questions, comments, concerns, get those down below. If you've been with us before, you know the drill. You know what we do here. So we have giveaways every single day. We have 2 giveaways every single video. First way, like the video, be a subscriber, and leave me a comment here. Helps the algorithm and it helps you out. If this video gets at least 50 likes, someone will win a free week of FTA+. If this video gets 100 likes, someone will win a free month. 150 likes, someone will win a free $200 year. And if this video or any of our videos ever get 200 or more likes and you leave a comment and you are a subscriber, you have a chance to win a $500 lifetime pass. That's way number 1. Second way, which also counts as your comment, like the video, be a subscriber, and tell me who is going to hit a home run and what inning are they going to hit it in. You get both of those correct. Send a screenshot of your comment on this video to dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp, the number 1 at gmail.com, and we will get you set up for a free week of FTA+. So, that being said, in the description of this video is the link to DFS Hero, which is our current partner. We have partnered up with them. They have a great optimizer where you can take our advice, you can take our projections, everything we have on the website, plug it in there, and get you guys a great optimizer there. So, link is in the description. If you sign up using our link, you go through the free trial and you sign up for a month, we will give you a free month of FTA+. If you sign up for a year package with them, we will give you a free year on top of that. So you can use their information along with all of our information as well. So that being said, we are going to see who the winner of yesterday or 2 days ago is. So we are going to roll the beautiful bean footage, and we are going to see who the winner of the free, I believe it's a week. Let me see real quick. Yes, Tuesday's video got 86 likes. So this is a free week of FTA+. And the winner, and you can come back again and again and again and keep winning. Cujo Blue 73, great content. Keep it coming. Thank you. Thank you, Cujo. I believe you just won last week. So that's what I'm saying. You guys can win every single day. So Cujo, just like this video and then just put a comment here or email me. Well, email me to let me know what your username is on the website, because I cannot remember, and I do not believe it's Cujo Blue 73. If it is, I will find it on the website and I will add the week to your subscription. So congratulations. Again, that's just a ringing endorsement that you can come back again and again and again and win. And the more likes the videos get, the more you win. So that being said, we have a smaller Thursday slate. It's split up a little bit. So we'll kind of look at that. We can kind of see. So we just look at it. It's an earlier slate, 12:10 start time or 1:10, wherever you're at. So there are 2 games that are not on here. So the first game that's not on here is this Milwaukee versus Pittsburgh game. And then this game down here, the Oakland Athletics versus the Yankees. Both of those games are not there. If you guys want, I can, depending on when you watch this video, I can do a separate video breakdowns for them. But I might just give you guys some options here instead of doing a full breakdown like that. I don't know if you guys like that or not. So that being said, we are going to cover that. If you don't know, if you've never been here before, we go through every single game. We look at the pitchers. We look at the bats as well. If you want to see the handful of pitchers and bats that we like out of everything, that is in the description of this video. That is today's article. along with everything else in the description. That's what we've got. So that being said, we are going to jump into it. I'm hoping and I'm praying that the audio works. But I do want to show you, it's kind of wilting right now, but I found this in my backyard yesterday. It's a 4-leaf clover. You can't really see it. The other two are wilted underneath. Trust me, it's 4-leaf. We are going to have a fantastic DFS day because that 4-leaf clover says so. So if you're ready, let's strap in. At the end of the video, if you've never been here before, we do simulations. So I do right now as I'm speaking, there are 10,000 simulations running in the background. Towards the end of the video, we're going to give you the top 20 bats after 10,000 simulations. We do 20,000 every day. That is updated in the simulation model. You can check that out. We have everything on the website that you can see here. We have projections all the way down to umpire factors that take effect into the game. So stick around because we will give you some of those, and we will give you some of our favorite bets of the day, or early bets. So put your bell notification on because when we go through the bets, sometimes those are the best odds. The odds will go down the more people that bet into it. So if you're here, put a bell notification so you never miss out any other day. So the one game we can't really look at, we can't play on the main slate, but you can play single game. You got Freddie Peralta versus Mitch Keller. Obviously, both of these, when you're playing a showdown, you want to take the pitcher. Probably want to take both of them just in case. You're always going to take bats against your pitcher, though. But if you want to look at the bats that have had success against both of these, they're not too bad. Depending on what you want to go with captain and stuff like that. Brian Reynolds against Freddie Peralta, 11 for 25 with a double, triple, and a home run. Batting 444, but does have 8 Ks. Ke'Bryan Hayes is 2 for 12 with a home run. You've got Jack Sawinski not doing much. Andrew McCutchen leading games off with home runs. 5 for 9 with 2 doubles and a home run would be a fantastic captain option if you don't want to go with a pitcher. That's kind of the bats that I would look at, plus the pitcher there. The other ones really haven't been doing much. They haven't had success in the same. On the flip side of that, though, Willy Adames against Mitch Keller, 6 for 17, 2 doubles and a home run. William Contreras, 1 for 8, but that one hit is a home run. You've got Rhys Hoskins, 3 for 5 with a double and a triple. You got Joey Wiemer, 3 for 5 with a double and a home run. You got Bryce Terang, 2 for 3 with a home run as well. So these are the bats that I would look at. You want both of the pitchers. You want to make multiple different lineups, but those are the bats that make sense on both sides of this game that we can't even play. So then we jump into this. Okay? We've got Boston at Cleveland. We got Brayan Bello versus Tristan McKenzie. Bello's only seen 9 plate appearances. The Boston offense has really struggled the whole season. You've got Tristan McKenzie, who has struggled this season as well, but the Cleveland bats make sense to me too. So we're going to dig into it a little bit, but let's take a look at Bello first. Where is he at? So for whatever reason, they have Cutter Crawford on here. He pitched on Saturday. All indications say it's going to be Bello. This is something to monitor because sometimes when you're looking at some of these certain bats or pitchers, the two sides don't mesh up. So if it is Bello, just for instance, remove so this is another way to do it, but you can remove non-probable. So he went on the IL. He literally went on the IL earlier. This is I guess it's a pandemic? No. Epidemic? The epidemic of... Okay, so he went on the IL. And this needs to be updated. So, looks like it's going to be Cutter Crawford. And Cutter Crawford has been doing great things. Okay? So we look at this. If you look at his ERA, it's .66. If this is in fact him starting, they may have a spot start. Cutter Crawford makes sense. 30 Ks, 1-0 record, so he hasn't done much. But we look at his splits, away games, has been worse on the road. But again, he still comes in with a .66 ERA. Flip side of that, Tristan McKenzie has been bad. 7,700 game log, coming off 21.7, so it was against... He's had 2 bad starts against decent teams. He's had 2 great starts against trash teams. That's what he's supposed to do. Now, Boston is in the former. They're not that good this year. Their best hitters are on the IL. Tristan Casas is gone. Tyler O'Neill is gone. McKenzie, people are probably going to be off of him because of his 5 ERA. I think this could be a low-scoring game. If you don't want to go with pitchers in this one, you want to go with bats. Honestly, Yoshida would make sense for me here. I don't know if he's going to play. That's the problem. So let's take a look at the bats for Boston that have been having success. So when you don't have BVP to go off of, you just got to go with ones that have been hitting well. So O'Neill is out. He's gone. So is O'Neill back now? So O'Neill is back already? Okay. So he is back. So, I mean, that is a good option. I didn't realize he was back on Tuesday. I had a baby appointment, so I didn't even get to see most of the lineups. But O'Neill has been hitting very, very well. So he is in. Valdez would be a cheap option. Wilyer Abreu's been batting towards the top. I don't mind him. Jarren Duran would be one. Devers would be one, but he's been kind of day-to-day lately. Yoshida has been kind of doo-doo. He was out, I think Wednesday. He was out of the lineup. And that's probably it on that side. If you are thinking Cutter Crawford's, for whatever reason, is not going to do well, he's got a great matchup. Bats that I would look at, Josh Naylor's at the top of the list. Absolutely love Josh Naylor. What he's been doing this season, been dominating. I would look at Jose Ramirez. Those two would be at the top of my list. If you need some ancillary batters, Bo Naylor, you could look at. Will Brennan, Andres Jimenez, Stephen Kwan, I would look at those guys. So, honestly, I think Bayo or Cutter Crawford would be your cash option. I think Tristan McKenzie would be your tournament option just because of how bad that Boston bats really have been this year. And we could kind of go in that direction. Move to the next one. Now, again, it's very hard to want to take pitchers in this ballpark because the ball flies out of there. Just trying to see what the weather looks like here. Again, depending on when you watch this video, the weather probably changes. As of now, the weather is supposed to blow in. Now, this could change, and we do have a weather tab on our cheat sheet that will tell you all about it. But we look at this. Zach Wheeler versus Nick Martinez. Wheeler, 56 plate appearances, 235 batting average. Nick Martinez, 55 plate appearances, 118. Both have had success against the other team. The problem is we dig in to see what they've been doing recently. So we look at Wheeler. He is the most expensive at $10,000. Coming off a fantastic start against the White Sox like everybody else. You've got a good start again. Like pretty much every start has been good. He faced Cincinnati at home. Gave up 300 runs there, but still had 28.5 fantasy points because he had 10 strikeouts. He's had 2 games with 10 strikeouts. I don't mind Zach Wheeler. But again, a little bit weary because the ball does fly out of here. But he has had success in the past. Did give up some earned runs. But if he gets double-digit strikeouts again, it could be in order for a great day. It just depends on what we get. Then, we look on the flip side. We look at Nick Martinez. Comes in with a 4.77 ERA. He's got 4 starts on the year. Has not faced the Phillies this year. 14 Ks in 4 starts is not enough. Philly hits very well. You guys know who we would hit with Philly, but you would obviously look towards Kyle Schwarber at the top. You would look at Castellanos, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner. Like, those are the big bats that you would look at. You want to dig into other bats, those are fine. You can see the bats that have had success. Those are the ones that you would really want to take notice of. But such as Cody Clemens would be a cheap one. Brandon Marsh has been hitting the ball very hard. You got Alec Boehm. Don't forget about him. Real Muto. Don't forget about him. I'd love him more against lefties, but I will take him against a Nick Martinez in this small ballpark for sure. Bryson Stott would be another one. Flip side of that, if for whatever reason you think Zach Wheeler is going to get lit up, Ellie De La Cruz is at the top of that list. Spencer Steer's been all red here. Christian Encarnacio Strand, pretty much all red except for K percentage, which it's kind of high. But not as high as Ellie De La Cruz, but he's got a ton of red there. Stuart Fairchild, a cheap tournament option, Jake Fraley, Candelario, these guys, I would definitely take some exposure to. But I do love Zach Wheeler. I will have exposure to him. I'll have exposure to Phillies bats. I don't think I'll have any exposure to Nick Martinez, though. Next game, you got Michael Soroka versus Bailey Ober. We love to take pitchers against this White Sox team. Now, if you look at Bailey Ober, 82 plate appearances with a 304 batting average, kind of high. but let's dig in a little bit deeper and see if maybe it's skewed by 3 guys hitting 500 and then the rest not hitting 500. That's the difference. So we look at this. Yeah. So Gavin Sheets, 5 for 16, batting .313. You've got 4 for 8, Nicky Lopez, 500. Robbie Grossman's 3 for 5, which is 600. Martin Maldonado is 400. That is going to skew those numbers vastly. So let's dig in to these numbers, and we will take one look at this. And I do want to say I appreciate each and every one of you that do listen. I get a ton of comments that say you listen to this and you're driving to work, or you listen to this in the morning. It's really helped you out. We have had so many new YouTube subscribers. It's been a slow process, but I think since this time last year, I can't remember. I want to say we're up like 5,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I've been thinking about putting these on like Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I'm not 100% sure how to do that. So if anyone knows, let me know. Also, if anyone makes like graphics or intros, I am looking for some intros for these YouTube videos. So anyone who's there, I'm looking, or if you know anyone, let me know. I can either pay or give you FTA Plus a year pass for free, whatever. Just let me know and get a hold of me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp, the number 1 at gmail.com. Would love to see a portfolio. I'm just looking for like an intro to these videos and an outro, and maybe sports specific. So get a baseball one, a football one, and a basketball one would be awesome. So that being said, let me know. So we are looking Soroka and Bailey Ober. Bailey Ober down here at 7,500. Has not faced the White Sox this year, coming off a great start against Detroit, 6 innings there. He's got a 4, so his ERA is a little bit up there, 17 Ks and 4 starts, not the best. The earned runs, really, he had a terrible earned run, 8 earned runs against Kansas City, but he held down the Dodgers, held down Detroit twice as well. So rough start. That's why his ERA is so much. He only went 1.1 innings. So it's gone down every single time. Now he has a great matchup against the White Sox. And 7,500 is a fantastic price. Soroka, on the other hand, we come down here. He's down to 5,300. 7.50 ERA. He's had 5 starts. Really, hasn't gone deep into games since April 4th against Kansas City. He's now going up against Minnesota. He has not faced them this year. Has not had good starts. I would be looking at Minnesota bats. I would be looking at Ober against Chicago and Minnesota bats. So depending on the bats that are there, what they bring to the table, Kirilloff, Carlos Santana, Julian, Byron Buxton, Max Kepler. I would look at these guys. I don't love this matchup for them because, and as you can see, Trevor Larnach has no red but just a little bit of blue, and that's his sprint speed. So it's not bad. Like you can even dig in a little bit further to, batted ball profile on both teams. You could keep going, plate discipline. Like you could dig in a little bit, depending on how much time you have. Like if this is your full-time job, then obviously you'll dig into it. But a lot of blue here. But, I don't mind a Ryan Jeffers or a Max Kepler in this situation. They're in a great spot against a pitcher that's not been doing too well, and the opposing pitcher has a fantastic matchup against the White Sox, who are one of the worst teams in the major leagues for the last, 10 years that I can remember. It's what's wild. They are worse than Oakland. I think they're worse than Oakland. Let me see. Just let me make sure they're worse than Oakland before I just randomly throw that out there. White Sox are 3. They've won 3 games. 3 and Jesus. Yeah. Well, Houston's got a worse record than Oakland. Do hate to see it. Really hate to see Houston. Hate to see it. But yeah, I would go Ober. Again, we've taken pitchers against the White Sox the majority of the year, and it has worked out almost every single time. And I don't see why it doesn't here. Again, I will let you know, I have been wrong in the past. I can be wrong. I completely get that. If I'm wrong, I will come back tomorrow. But, if you're playing tournaments and you make like 50 lineups and you want to stack the White Sox against Ober just in case, I could see that. But obviously, I would take Ober against them. Then we get the Blue Jays at the Royals. Again, this is at Pitchers Park. We get Jose Barrios, who's been pitching extremely well this year. Has had success against Kansas City in a Pitchers Park. And then Cole Reagan's going up against the team. Been pretty good as well. So let's dig into those numbers, see what they've brought to the table. So Barrios is 9,400, coming off great start at San Diego, a great start against Colorado, a fantastic start against Seattle, a not so good start against Houston, and a fantastic start against Tampa Bay. 0.85 ERA for Barrios, 4-0 record, 27 Ks. So the Ks are a little bit lower, but last 3 starts, 6, 7, and 6 strikeouts. In this ballpark, I don't mind it. Although Kansas City has been hitting the ball oddly very well this season. It doesn't make sense to me. They're ranked 8th in power rankings, which is wild, but it is what it is. Then you got Cole Reagans coming in. Does have a 4.32 ERA, so it is kind of up there. Did give up 7 earned runs against Baltimore. That is why it's so high. Other than that, he had 5 earned runs in 4 other starts. 33 strikeouts, so he is striking people out. He just did not have it against Baltimore, which it's Baltimore. Minus 7.7 fantasy points there. Had a bad start against Houston, but other than that, against the Mets, 25.3. Baltimore before that, 26.5. And Minnesota before that, 22.7. Tournament-wise, I am okay with Reagans. I think Barrios is your cash option. I think Cole Reagans is your tournament option just because of how bad he did do last time. And Toronto, when they're on, they can absolutely hit. So the bats that I would look at, if you're not taking Reagans, obviously Vlad hits lefties well. Justin Turner hits lefties well. Bo Bichette's supposed to. I don't know what's going on with Bo. George Springer leading off games. Could see doubles out of him this game. That's where I'd go. You could look at Davis Schneider a little bit. You could look at Kiermaier, Ernie Clement a little bit too for cheaper options. If you think Barrios is gonna, not pitch well because of how well Kansas City's been doing, you obviously got to go with Bobby Witt Jr. at the top. A bunch of red there, all but the walks. So the walks are low, but his sprint speed, stolen bases, WOBA, batting average, slugging, they're all up there. Sal Perez, MJ Melendez, Michael Garcia, Vinny Pasquantino, Nelson Velasquez are the big hitters from this team. I could see you using them for tournaments, but honestly, this could be a low-scoring game, or Reagans gets lit up and Toronto puts up a ton of runs early in the game. I need exposure to Toronto a little bit. I need exposure to Jose Barrios. And what's wild is Barrios isn't even the highest-priced pitcher on the slate, so you get a little bit of leverage on the field there. So we do look at that. That's kind of my thought process in this one. We move to the Astros at the Cubs. You got Justin Verlander versus Javier Assad. Verlander, 60 plate appearances, 232 batting average. Assad, 1 plate appearance, has not seen anything. The problem, the Astros have been very bad this year. So we look at this. Verlander, obviously we know that he made 1 start. Went 6 innings in that game, which was actually surprising. Only 2 earned runs against Washington, but only 4 strikeouts. Got 19.1 fantasy points, though, at 9,300. Now he's going up against the Cubs at Chicago, which does scare me. It's a windy city for a reason. The weather, looking at this one, is blowing in right now. That could favor him. It just depends. Are we going to see the 6 innings, 2 earned runs, or are we going to see him get dominated? I don't know what to think of him yet. We've had 1 start under the belt, but he knows his body, him and his 87-year-old body. So we look at that. I don't mind him. But again, the Cubs have been hitting the ball very well this year. Overall, in his career, 60 plate appearances, 232. So a little bit. And that's only 3 batters. But Yan Gomes is 49 of those 60 plate appearances. So in that instance, Verlander could be in store for a great game. If you want to focus on bats against him, Bellinger I would look at. I would look at Michael Busch, who's been on fire. I would look at Ian Happ, Nico Horner, and Dansby Swanson on that side. Now Assad, we look at Javier Assad here. Comes in at a $7,900 price tag, 2.11 ERA, so he's been pretty good. Faced Miami, which he didn't do very well, only 4.2 innings. Seattle was 5.2. San Diego was 5 innings. and Colorado was 6 innings. Strikeouts have been there. Tournament-wise, I don't mind him. I don't think I trust either of these pitchers in cash. I think both Verlander and Assad are cash-only options for me today. If you want to look at Astros bats, obviously Jordan, Tucker, Altuve, I would avoid Jose Abreu like the absolute plague because he's plagued. Mariners at the Rangers is next. You got Luis Castillo versus Andrew Heaney. We know that Castillo has struggled in the past this year, except his last start in Colorado, amazingly. And then you got Andrew Heaney, lefty here, 117 plate appearance, 267. You see Castillo, 71 plate appearance, 323. So I'm just curious. So Corey Seager's 3 for 10. Marcus Semion's got a home run. Andrew Knizner, I still don't know how the N is just silent there, but Andrew Knizner is 2 for 7 with a home run. We got a double out of Nate Lowe, a double out of Jonah Heim, and a double out of Josh Smith, and that's it. He's actually had success against them in the past. I think a lot of people will be stacking Texas against him, which would make sense. He's still 8,600. He's got a 4.4 ERA, coming off 2 really good starts, one against Chicago Cubs, one in Colorado, which still makes no sense about anything. But we've got to take some exposure. I think he'll be lower owned because of the guys above him, and he's going up against Texas. But I could also see Texas absolutely dominating him. So I will have some exposure to Castillo, but I will have some exposure to Nate Lowe, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Jonah Heim. I will have some exposure there as well. But I will take a flyer on Castillo because he's still striking people out. 5 starts, 36 strikeouts. So still striking, minimum of 5 out a game. Still get some points. It just depends if he's going to have earned runs. Did have 4. He's been better his last 2 starts. So if he can get through Texas, I think he'll be on the right track in this slate. Andrew Heaney, I do not understand. He's 6,000 game log wise. Really hasn't had much except against Tampa Bay. I would look at Seattle. I would look at Mitch Haniger if he's in there. Julio Rodriguez if he's in there. J.P. Crawford. Those are the bats. I won't have any exposure to Heaney even at 6,000. Then you got the Padres at the Rockies. Randy Vasquez versus Dakota Hudson. Vasquez, I believe, is making his second start. He just came over here. Had 5 innings, 1 earned run, 3 Ks. Now he's in Colorado. I can't take him. And then we got Dakota Hudson. I don't want him at all. It's got a 5 ERA, 12 strikeouts in 4 starts, not striking people out. I would be looking at San Diego bats. If Machado is back and in this lineup, Machado, Tatis, Cronenworth, Ha-Seong Kim, I would look at these. If you want to look at some Colorado bats, we'll take a look real quick. Ryan McMahon's been hitting the ball well. You could look at him. Nolan Jones, iffy on him, but we'll take a little bit. Montero, I could look at. Brendan Rodgers, I don't mind. Ezekiel Tovar, Michael Taglia, I could look at these guys too. So I will not have exposure to either of these pitchers. I will have exposure to bats. I'll be heavy on the Padres bats, but you could sprinkle in some Colorado bats. Then we got the Dodgers at the Nationals. You got Yamamoto versus Mackenzie Gore. I believe Gore just faced them, right? His last start? No, faced Houston. Mackenzie Gore, 3.6 ERA, 2-1 record, 27 strikeouts. The strikeouts have been low. Did have an 11 strikeout game against Oakland. Dodgers have been... I got to go back to the well with the Dodgers, stacking against the lefty. They didn't really do anything against Patrick Corbin. I don't know what's going on with the Dodgers bats. I don't. But I will have exposure to Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Teoscar Hernandez against the lefty. I got to go back to the well. That's what you do. You have a bad day in DFS because let's say your Dodgers stack didn't do anything. You go back to the well. You dominate them. I think Mackenzie Gore. I won't have exposure to Gore. I will have exposure to the righty bats, some lefty bats as well in a Dodgers stack. Washington stack, or Yamamoto anyway. So he last faced the Mets, did well. 30 strikeouts. His stuff is nasty. He has given up some earned runs, 3 earned runs in his last 2 starts, then 2 starts with none, and then 5 against San Diego. This is a fantastic matchup for him. They've never seen him before. I will be all over Yamamoto. I will be all over the Dodgers bats. And that's it for the main slate. You do have the Yankees-Oakland game. You got Alex Wood versus Nestor Cortez. If you're playing the showdown, I would be focused on Nestor Cortez here as one of my pitchers. Obviously, Alex Wood, you got in a couple of lineups, you got to have both pitchers. But I would focus on Judge, Stanton, Volpe, Trevino for the Yankees. Glaber's got to come around someday. I will look at them. Flip side of that for the A's, Seth Brown. I mean, it depends. You got to have some A's bats. That's just, you have to have at least one against on a showdown lineup. So Lawrence Butler, I don't mind. Shea Langoliers, I don't mind. Brent Rooker, Esteury Ruiz, because if he gets on base, he's pretty much stealing a base. You could look at that. Zach Galoff, I could look at as well. Seth Brown. Maybe a little bit of Abraham Toro, but not much. So that's what I would do. I would still focus on, I forgot Juan Soto, but pretty much anyone in this lineup for the Yankees, I would look at against Alex Wood. And then you got to have some of those bats. So I would look at the deep red out of the Athletics. So that being said, that is what we've got for the slate. We'll obviously be back on Friday, but those are the bats and pitchers for this little shorter Thursday slate. But you guys are here for the projection. So these are the top 20 bats after 10,000 simulations. These will be updated, but just looking at this right now, the top 6 San Diego bats. So number 1, Tatis. 2 is Bogarts. 3 is Jake Cronenworth. 4 is Jerkson Profar. 5 is Luis Campusano. 6 is Hassan Kim. 7 is Mookie Betts. 8, Ryan McMahon. 9, Julio Rodriguez. 10, Aaron Judge. 11, Jackson Merrill. 12, Yordan Alvarez. 13, Jose Altuve. 14, Shohei Ohtani. 15, Marcus Semien. 16, Kyle Tucker. 17, Juan Soto. 18, Nolan Jones. 19, Max Kepler. And number 20, as of right now, is Adolis Garcia against Luis Castillo. There you have it. That is the breakdown for Thursday. Hopefully, it's a better day than what we had at least Tuesday. I didn't get a video. The video should have been out yesterday, but for whatever reason, hopefully this one works because I don't want to have to re-record this. So that being said, that's what I've got. Questions, get them down below. Like the video. Help that algorithm out. Good luck on this slate. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.